Great, thank you. So our next speaker is going to be Tunde Opeibi from the University of Lagos, and the title of his presentation is Retelling the Story of Okonkwo, a Digital Exploration of Clash of Cultures in Achebe's Things Fall Apart.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. I want to thank the organizer of the conference for inviting me. Today I will just be sharing with you aspect of the project we are trying to do in Lagos. Basically, DH is very young in Nigeria, and then I think University of Lagos, we are one of those who are we're trying to start something on DH in Nigeria. And then at the moment, we're looking at two projects, trying to create a database of online discourses in Nigeria, politics or religion, and then building a website for it. I did a presentation there last year in Canada on that. And today I will be looking at the purpose of Nigerian literary discourse, also trying to build the same database and trying to also see how digital tools can help us to be able to explore literary text in Nigeria and then for the global audience. Now, talking about Things Fall Apart, it's a popular novel that's familiar in the West. I'm sure that over the years, people have read the novel over and over again. But today I will be looking at how we can gain better information, better understanding from the text by using digital tools. Basically, my presentation for 4 major areas, and then trying to discuss the dominant figure of Okonkwo, its character and key action, and how these all contribute towards revealing clash of cultures in the novel, to establish the grounds for the conflicts, and to explore how new technology help to plot and explain the manifestations and dimension of the cultural conflict in the novel. And then to also end by discussing how tools, digital tools can help to also, teach literary text in classrooms. That's Nigeria, for those who are not familiar with Nigeria, in West Africa. Then you have the setting of the novel is somewhere in the southeast. At the moment, it's in Anambra State, southeast of Nigeria. And then you have it there, Umuofia. Then that's already, because of the popularity of the novel, you have an interactive platform that you can actually consult to explore further on the novel. Now, very briefly, given a very short narrative about the novel, it's a story on this tragic hero, the protagonist, Okonkwo, is a leader in the novel, and then the novel is divided into 3 sections. Number 1, Okonkwo's family, his personal history, and the custom and sort of the Igbo people. And the second and third sections introduce the influence of the British colonialism and Christian missionaries on the Igbo community and the impact of these cultural impositions on the local traditional cultural system and values of the Igbo people. Published in 1958. In fact, the German version of the novel is titled Okonkwo, to show the centrality of the character, of the main character. Most of the story takes place in the village of Umuofia, located west of the actual city of Onitsha now, on the east bank of the Niger River in Nigeria. This event of the novel unfolded in the 1890s during the British colonial rule. Basically, the society is patriarchal. You are going to see that through digital tools. You have the local culture, the traditional religion actually is heightened, considered supreme in terms of the life of the people. And therefore, when this foreign culture, when the missionary came and they brought this Christianity, it actually brought up a lot of issues. Citizens and residents are controlled by a collective allegiance to this tradition. Success is measured by masculinity, agricultural wealth, number of wives, fearlessness, victory in local wrestling contests, and so on. Now, talking about Okonkwo, now we see him dominating the entire narrative. He represents the author's mouthpiece. Okonkwo is the locus of the layers of tension and conflict between the 2 major cultures depicted in the novel. The novel unveils cultural politics of the white man Nigeria. It describes very vividly Okonkwo's fierce attempt to resist the systematic control of the Igbo community by the white colonialists. And then we see Now, spotting the cultural gaps, the basis for this conflict. Now, number one, difference in value system. Number two, difference in socio-economic and political system. Number three, difference in religious beliefs. And then, of course, part of what you find in that novel is a reaction to the slave trade experience that the author is trying to react to. And then, these cultural gaps actually created a tension in the novel with Okonkwo as the hub of the conflict. Now, what are these various areas of conflict? Number one, internal conflict within Okonkwo himself. Number two, external conflict, Okonkwo versus the community and the Western values. Number three, communal conflict, the villagers versus the white colonialists. Number three, and number four, national conflicts. We have the foreign system of governance coming in conflict with the chiefdom system of the locality. Now, we created a self-collected corpus titled Corpus of Nigerian Literary Discourse. It involved transforming the electoral copy of Achebe's Things Fall Apart into a TXT file. A closing of the text was done to gain additional insights for qualitative analysis. We also used some aspect of, some software, word clouds, sketch engine, Buoyant tools to do the analysis. Using sketch engine, now in addition to actually doing a close analysis of the text, we also did a kind of a global search on the writings on Okonkwo to be able to understand the various perspectives that we have on the novel. Okay, we got some critical writings on TFA and place that place Okonkwo and clash of culture as central thematic preoccupation. The digital mapping yielded some interesting information about the thematic preoccupations of the text and the character of Okonkwo. Now, in terms of analysis, chapter by chapter, you have Okonkwo mentioned number of these times in the novel. Chapter 1, 9 times, 19 times, chapter 2, and you're going to see the trend to show where you have Okonkwo actually, involved in serious actions. Now, we now employ some digital tools to actually do some analysis. Now, this part you have the Buoyant tools. Now you see Okonkwo, of course, coming very prominently there, mentioned after said. Then you have the trend there. Of course, you have the green trend there. I mean, that should be, you have the green trend where you have the Okonkwo there. And then you see the flow of the action and the mention of Okonkwo. And then, of course, from these two, you have Okonkwo mentioned, I guess, 297 times. Now, now, of course, using our package, we also describe the same thing. Okonkwo coming prominently in the number of mention and frequency of occurrence of key terms in the novel. Then we also apply tag crowd. Again, you find Okonkwo again coming prominently, showing that actually he is the center of action in the novel. Then we are now trying to look at Kong and then to see the discussion around Okonkwo and how this discussion actually highlights, the various issues that you have in the novel. Now, the first highlighted item, you have Okonkwo was well known throughout the nine villages, okay? And then you have, of course, you see his background, his popularity. The next one you have, during this time, Okonkwo's fame has grown like a bushfire. Okay? No, but the next one, any wonder then that at his son, Okonkwo was ashamed of him. Now, you see the clash. Now, Okonkwo has a son that appeared to be like his father, a weakling. And then Okonkwo actually didn't like that. And so you see him in collision with the boy all the time. And then the next one you have, Okonkwo ruled his household with a heavy hand. The next one, perhaps down in the south, Okonkwo's fear was greater than this. Actually, Okonkwo was afraid that he wouldn't want to fail like his father. And then you find him reacting and then, transferring that aggression to whatever he does in the novel. Then the same thing you find Okonkwo and then the various discussion around him, the issue around him, how he was violent, how he uses his machete, and then eventually, toward the end, they came to the tree from which Okonkwo's body was dangling, and they stopped there. Now, the point that eventually Okonkwo committed suicide. Now, the advantage of this is that without even reading the novel, you can do some analysis through the tools. You can begin to see how things come together to be able to highlight the discussion on Okonkwo. Then we also see, using the same outcome, we highlighted other discussion on Okonkwo. And look at this, Okonkwo was called a flaming fire. Okay, and then how would he have begotten a woman as a son? That's his son. Okonkwo had it and ran madly into his room for the loaded gun. Okay, we see the character of Okonkwo coming forth, often and often in the novel. Now, in using sketch engine, sketch engine actually helps to web crawl the web, and then to actually harvest information about whatever information you need on a particular key item you have programmed into it. So now we did that, and then we programmed some key terms for Okonkwo on that software, and then you find this result coming up. Again, Okonkwo comes as number 1. Then Achebe, you find the Chinua, the Umofia, that's the setting of the place. Then Igbo, the community. Therefore, for the multi-word expression, you have white man, white person, black woman. All these actually, they come together to actually highlight the conflict. Again, in doing the keyword analysis, you find Okonkwo there is a respected influential leader. Over the years, Okonkwo becomes an extremely volatile man, relates to Okonkwo a message from the oracle. It tells Okonkwo not to partake in the murder, and then and on like that. Now, what all this tell us? Now, number 1, we see civilization, West collide with East. Number 2, another conflict, education, native intelligence, local wisdom, homeschooling versus Western education. Number 3, political culture, chiefdom system versus British colonial empire system. Number 4, we find the clash between the two economic systems, farming versus colonial government, or white collar office job. Number 4, you find the clash of religious cultures. Number 5, you find social culture clashing, the conflict. Number 6, you find global and national Igbo culture also in conflict. Number 6 or number 7, you find private and public culture. Now you find Okonkwo always in conflict with the community. Okay? Then you find the clash between foreign and local culture, modern and ancient culture, tradition versus modernity. Now keyword analysis using TFA. Now now we also use the word Christian, another kind of culture there, and then it brought out this. Now, when they found that she had fled to join the Christian, it was a good riddance. The white missionary had set up a school to teach young Christians to read and write. The white man's government, or the consequence of killing the Christians. I want us to take note of some of the key terms and how they also reflect the culture in terms of religion, in terms of politics, in terms of government. Okay, then the next one, the clan saw no reason for molesting the Christian. They anchored of his titles and cast away to join the Christian. The white missionary was proud of him. Now, all these set up the kind of culture the kind of clash that we find. And then on and on. We also use the white man, you see again, highlighting the clash between the two major cultures. Now, summary of findings. Now, what are the manifestations of the culture in this novel? Clash between Western value, I mentioned that. Clash between the church, new God, and the goddess, page 101, you're going to see there. Clash between the white man and the black man. And then you find all these levels of clashes in the novel. And then, let me quickly now go to Okonkwo. On his return from exile, Okonkwo sees Christianity as an abominable religion that he must destroy. But the comment says it is not our custom to fight for our gods. Titlemen like Wefi have joined the missionaries and have belonged to Okonkwo. Apart from the church, the white men have also brought a government with courts, judges, courts, messenger. And then you find Okonkwo reacting to all this. And then you find some of these thoughts that reveal the character of Okonkwo and throw more light on his action. Now, conclusion. Why do we need to apply these tools to explore literary text? Number 1, it provides easy access to hidden information in the novel, enables a systematic unveiling of social meaning and social cultural interpretation beyond intuitive level, helps to give a more objective and unbiased scientific analysis of text, makes close reason analysis merely complementary, brings together a wider perspective of critical writings on the text to confirm its global audience and international appeal. demonstrate how discourses emanate and crystallize around key characters, key events, and the main preoccupation in the novel. Keyword analysis highlight keyness factor, helping to demonstrate what is important and what is not in the novel. What Clara brings together to the fore, the key highlights in the novel. Literature exploration can aid the teaching of post-colonial literature in international English classroom. And then that's our center in the University of Lagos. And then, of course, we are looking for partnership, and we'll be glad to discuss that with you. Thank you for your attention.